Hello, everyone. I'm Arbutus Washington, and I'm back to talk about a little bit about the history of prison and the prison system. All of the following information was taken from peer-reviewed, empirically based articles, and I'll mention some of them in this video and reference them in the description section. Buntman wrote an article in 2019, and he described imprisonment as a form of institutional repression that takes away the freedom of the individual to acquire total control over that person. Before the turn of the 18th century in colonial times, prisons or jails held individuals that governments viewed as political and religious dissidents and debtors. And Barnes' article in 1921 stated that in the 18th century, prisons or jails were institutions designed for corporal punishment that were influenced by the Quakers, which was a religious society. Buntman described the prison system and punishment as a form of colonialist control, which ensured that individuals conformed to the developmental rules and regulations of the forming colony. Once sentenced and incarcerated, the governing authorities considered the individual as a body to control and not an individual with rights or privileges that were held unto trial and sentencing, which could include death, flogging, torture, mutilation, or hard labor at a workhouse, or even exile. The early 18th century activists fostered change that led to diminishing corporal punishment of all prisoners and establishing the first prison system. For instance, the first prison in the United States started in Pennsylvania. They had harsh penalties for prisoners that included beating, starvation, and even solitary confinement. The development of the New York prisons brought new challenges to maintaining any form of social behavior by the individuals in prison by requiring that all prisoners work, eat, and function in total silence, with strict adherence to rules of control to offset beatings for noncompliance. The New York model spread and became a model for the nation and the world, with advocates touting the benefits of total control and silence without regard for the trauma endured by the inmates or the effects of solitude and non social behavior on societal reentry, which required socialization skills. The early 19th century brought prison reform due to activists, the public outcry, and prisoner revolts due to the severity of prisoner treatment, which caused many deaths and brutal treatment from prison staff. Westcott's article in 2015 discussed the prisoner rebellion in Attica, New York, that led to the Supreme Court decision to give prisoners the right to exercise, adequate food, and education, even though the word adequate was left to institutions to interpret as they saw fit. The need to prepare the prisoner for re entering society became apparent due to many released prisoners that no longer knew how to function in a world which required socialization skills instead of total silence, control, and strict regulations that governed eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. The adverse effects of solitary confinement on the psychological well being of the prisoner was evident. And Westcott highlighted the reformed practices of other countries, which provided avenues for the prisoners to remain connected to the family with social supports by allowing weekend and weekday passes, family living quarters, and even liberal visitation practices. The practices of the previously mentioned countries allowed the prisoners to maintain socialization practices and connections while incorporating other rehabilitation efforts, which made societal reintegration less daunting with a more prepared PII or previously incarcerated individual. The transitional programs incorporated in the prison system were a step in the right direction, yet they lacked the necessary components to fully erase the years of institutionalization, which is the compliance and adaptation to the culture and regulation of an institution. Prisonization is the specific adaptation to the prison culture, which remains a current problem when a PII attempts to re enter society with those strongly ingrained prison habits that diminish social skills. And as I stated before, those social skills are necessary for a successful reentry process. And I'll end this video here. But if you'd like to help or support PIIs and my organization by providing assistance to PIIs and others, please go to my website or donate and volunteer. My web address is helpfromthesanctuary.org, or you can donate directly through PayPal using the email address helpfromthesanctuary@yahoo.com. And I'll list those in the comments. But follow me on Facebook by looking up Help from the Sanctuary Incorporated. And I hope you tune in for the next video where I'll discuss some of the background information and statistics on the challenges faced by PIIs due to the judicial, societal, and prison system practices. And don't forget to like, comment, and please subscribe to my channel and share these videos to help keep these videos coming and create awareness of the issues. And thank you. And until next time, never forget to show concern and help for one another.